Hi, and welcome to Chamber Chat via Zoom. I'm Danielle McFadden, president of the Chamber. I'm so excited to have my friend Joe Carreiro here from El Potro Mexican Bar and Grill. How are you?
I'm very good. How are you?
Good. I just double checked. I'm like, is it grill and bar? I went automatically to bar first just
Yeah,
because.
no. Bar and grill, alphabetical
Yes.
was the way I always think of it. Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Excellent. So I haven't seen you lately, but at the beginning of this, I was seeing a lot of you. So let's talk a
Yes.
little bit about El Potro, and then we'll get into how you have adjusted during this COVID-19 pandemic.
Well, I mean, we've been hanging, with everything throughout this whole thing. It's been kind of an up and down thing. Beside our downtown Lowell location, we have three other locations that my job is to make sure that we're going in all the right directions in all four locations. We were lucky enough, we knew that our Lowell location had a very strong following. So it was actually the first of our four to open for any kind of service, during the shutdown, I should say. So we opened for takeout first in Lowell, and it ran really well. And slowly we got our other locations back online to do that. And we were doing pretty good with that, for takeout purposes, but obviously it's not sustainable. So we're very happy when the Commonwealth slowly allowed for things like outside dining and eventually inside dining. It's kind of a hit or miss. We're batting 500 is what I like to tell people now. Two of our locations, including our Lowell location, are going pretty strong. We're struggling a little bit in our Malden location and in our Somerville location, just because we don't have the perfect models there. From Malden, we have no capacity to be able to do outside dining. And in Somerville, it's our smallest location, so we have very limited indoor seating. And due to some construction going on in Union Square in Somerville, where we're located, we don't have the capacity to be able to expand our outside dining options that well. So we've kind of hit a little bit of a roadblock there and had to make some changes administratively to the way we're doing business in those locations to accommodate, like adjusting our hours to really just make sure that we're minimizing our hits financially, but also maximizing our opportunity for the customers who have the demand. So we changed our hours during the week at those two locations, and it's worked out pretty good. We're really not losing any money by not being open as many hours, because the demand really kind of started in that mid-afternoon range, and we're open, into the evening. And so we're really allowing us to accommodate our client base there. Our Lowell location has been outstanding, to be honest with you, not just because I'm on the Lowell Chamber chat here, but the city of Lowell was so good to all of us in the downtown Lowell area, and really kind of supporting the dining community. Myself, our friends from Cobblestones, Fuse, Athenian Corner, we were all able to kind of just, go in, and with, a lot of collaboration from the city, able to really create a really vibrant outside dining community within the downtown area. And, we were able to add additional seating, not only along our building on Merrimack Street, but also we were able to utilize a couple parking spaces, and it really hasn't affected the traffic or the parking situation in downtown. And we've gotten a lot of really good feedback from our neighbors. But what it's allowed us to do is really survive, and really thrive. Because despite the fact that it might be 100 degrees outside some days, a lot of people feel a lot more safer outside than they do inside dining right now. And that's where we're trying to accommodate what people's likes and dislikes are, as well as trying to make sure that we can offer up as much of an opportunity for folks who do feel comfortable dining out to do that. So we're pleased with the response from our city in Lowell. And in our Kelsey location, we were lucky enough, we had an outside private patio, so we were able to kind of turn that on as soon as the city allowed us. And we've been able to move into inside dining there as well, because that is our biggest location. And so we had a lot more opportunities for 6 foot socially distant, safe dining indoors there. So it's going pretty okay in those two locations. And we're always going back to the drawing board to figure out what we can do in Somerville and Malden, because we love our friends, and neighbors there. And we want to make sure that we can, make everybody happy.
And that's one of the great things about you and El Potro is that you're always willing to try new things and you're always looking out for your community.
Right, absolutely. So we tried. The one thing that this situation with COVID has really taught me is that we have to really constantly look at opportunities to innovate and to network and to figure out how best to work with our communities. It's not that I'm ever a complainer generally, but I think the most important thing is to collaborate with folks like at the chambers and at the cities and the municipalities and your other business partners, because if there's a way where we all can kind of come together, it works. I mean, there was a hashtag not started by me but by someone else that said "Stay stronger together," and that really spoke to me when I first saw that hashtag. So I've kind of identified with it, and I use it in a lot of our social media. Because I really do believe that's what's important. I mean, it's applicable for customers, it's applicable for other businesses, whether it's a shopping or a service-based business, or even a dining business like ourselves, where if we all kind of stick together, we all have a positive mindset. We know we're all frustrated. We know that we're all stir crazy being inside. If we all can kind of know that things are going to be different in our new normal, we can make this successful. So and that's what I'm hoping that people can identify that message, because it is difficult. I mean, you read the news, the whole thing has become so politicized that you just you want to shake your head sometimes. And in other respects, we have to respect our customers' needs to try to go back to normal, but at the same time, we have obligations that we don't want to cut corners, and we want to make sure that everybody's safe, not the least of which is our staff and and the people who have supported us through all of these, from full-time closure to takeout to all the way through our different dining phases. So that's important to us as a family who own the restaurant. The owners really feel like safety for our staff and for our customers is above all else. And so that's why we're willing to kind of approach things in a more conservative way, with things, because we think that's the best way to do things, and not cut corners and not try to maximize space in ways that may not make all of our customers feel 100% comfortable when they come to visit us. So
Well, that's greatly appreciated. And it's important as consumers to be patient, try not to get frustrated. Things might take longer. It's not going to be the same experience. Be kind. Don't take it out on your server. And your server, I mean, you're talking today, it's Monday, July 20th. It's oppressively hot. Your server is going to be wearing a mask the whole time. It's going to be uncomfortable for them. So be as kind as possible. Plus, they're at risk to some extent because they're out in the public. So you have to be as kind as possible to them and be patient.
Right. And for the most part, I mean, knock wood, we've been lucky at our locations, I should say. We haven't had a lot of brushback on a personal level. We've read, and I've spoken with colleagues and other small businesses who have had that. We had a few instances at the beginning where people were frustrated with us about enforcing some of the policies that we have, but I think people have started to lighten up a little bit, and they are kind of adopting the be kind motto, but it's still hard, for us. I think I posted something on social media last week about some restaurant colleagues in other parts of the state who customers are just adamant about standing up for their constitutional rights to be free, and they're picking on, servers. And, I've, you know, really kind of personally identified with, there's a gentleman down in Cape Cod, Massachusetts, who runs an ice cream shop called the Polar
Mm-hmm.
Cave Ice Cream Shop. And I visited it on different occasions over the course of my lifetime, and my family personally loves it because they're all, big fans of the waffle cones that they have there. And it just shocked me at the reaction of some of the folks, to the way that he's, opened up his business, where he's prioritized his staff and their comfortableness over anything else. And it's maddening to kind of read some of the things he has to post on social media about how the negative comments that he's receiving from customers and the blowback, and how they're picking on high school and college age kids, who are just there, because they need to raise money to, go to the, get their first car, go back to school with, and they're being abused verbally, by customers who, gosh, it's ice cream. Like, we all love it, but I mean, it's an ice cream cone. Be patient, wait in line,
Right.
do what you need to do, and all will be well. And you see that kind of things in, as a small business, and you kind of, it really gives you pause, I guess, is the best way of putting it. Like, is it worth it? If this is the reaction, people really just got to understand the multiple sides of it. I joke because my wife is an angel in many different respects, but when she goes grocery shopping with me, she understands my facial expressions, even though I'm wearing a mask, because I just question the judgment of some people who, just disobey the rules, or just don't care and get into each other's personal spaces, or go the wrong way down an aisle, or don't stay socially distant, or wear a mask, and things like that. And I understand, to each his own, but it just, if we all just be nice and kind to each other, it'll work. That's the way I look at it. So
It's so true. It seems so simple, and so true, but not always apparent to everybody.
yep.
So before this all happened, which I can't believe it's been, what, 4 months now? It's crazy to look back, but you were going to come on Chamber Chat radio show for an exciting
Yes,
announcement, which I didn't even know what it was until the other day.
So we had, I secretly had been keeping a secret for a very long time, and waiting for the right time to come to you and say, Danielle, I want to come on the radio show. I have some big news to share with you. We were lucky enough a couple of years ago to purchase the building where our restaurant is, and and really try to make a real home in Lowell, for us. We love downtown. We love the community that we're in. And, fortunately and unfortunately, it's never an easy thing to kind of run your business when you're renting from somebody else. And it's always beneficial when you can own. So we've been doing what we can with the building, since we took it over a couple of years ago. And our friends and neighbors at Humanity were kind of our pals, and and we tried to weather many storms with them. And unfortunately, Annie wasn't able to kind of make a real good go of it at the location, and in her kindness, wanted to be fair to us, and said that she was going to have to, move on to a new, very successful location that she has just right around the corner, which we're very happy about. So we had that empty storefront. And when we had come to Lowell 6 years ago, almost 7 years in November now, it was always a dream that if we ever had the opportunity to expand into the storefront next to us, that we would. So although we were very sad to see her go, we were happy at the possibility that maybe we could do something to really honor our customers, who the biggest complaint that we get in Lowell is we're too small. It takes too long to get a table. Well, you kind of deal with what you deal with. So we started to work with the city and look for architects. And we were lucky enough right around the turn of the year to be able to really kind of focus on this project. And we were just about to move forward with the project when COVID hit. But we are hoping now, or we've got everything running in a positive direction, to continue to work with the city and the historical commission, and we'll be expanding our location into both sides of the building at Merrimack Street. And so we will be adding additional tables, and we're going to add a larger bar area and be able to renovate the area where our bar is now, to add some additional seating there, and really just be able to have a real presence. The one benefit of what COVID has allowed us to do is to see how successful having that whole storefront as a potential patio would be. And we're hoping that we can continue to work with the city when we open up the other side, to have a really nice patio there and in the springs and summers for everybody to enjoy, but also a lot more seating where we can feature our mariachi when they come, to really let everybody enjoy it to the level that they want to. We've been so thankful for the city and their response to us in the 6+ years we've been here. So now we feel like we can really give back to the downtown area by really doing a lot. So we're planning on opening and expanding indoors, but we're also going to do, I don't want to call it a cleanup, but we're going to fix up the storefronts to kind of make them much more in line with what the historical composure of the buildings were, but also pretty it up, and make sure that the building really stands out. And we're really happy for the support of the city and Steve at the Historical Commission to really get behind our project and do that. So that was my exciting news.
Yay,
we're going to be expanding.
So exciting.
So more room for everybody to come in for lunch and dinner, and
that's
hopefully,
excellent.
when we can get our mariachi singing again, get them there to put a smile on a lot of people's faces at the same time. So.
That is so exciting. We can't wait to celebrate with you and do a ribbon cutting and all that pomp and circumstance.
Be very, very, very nice indeed. So hopefully, we all won't have to be wearing masks when that happens, but if we do, we'll all have some really fun masks on, and we'll cut the ribbons and celebrate with some margaritas and lunch and
perfect,
all that all that fun stuff.
So what is your go-to meal?
My go-to meal, it really depends on the time of day. If I'm trying to eat healthy and watch my figure, my go-to is our El Potro taco salad, which is always filled with some great stuff, and it really keeps me satisfied. But if I'm going in for dinner, I usually lean for the enchiladas, which is funny. We've been doing a lot of on a personal level, my family's been doing Takeout Saturday, where we go and visit some restaurants to support folks. And so, but I've driven to the Lowell location on multiple occasions to get takeout for my family, as well as my in-laws live next door to me, so they eat with us. And so what I've tried to do there is not go and eat the same thing every single week. So I've been trying to change it up a little bit, but I still miss my enchiladas, and that's usually my go-to when I'm eating dinner at the restaurant.
And do you have a go-to drink?
I am not a alcohol drinker, so I don't typically drink alcohol, but I can tell you that my family very much enjoys the house margaritas that we serve. So it's, that's their go-to.
Excellent. Well, the food is delicious, and I often joke to you that I think my third should have come out as an El Potro burrito. I had many of those at lunchtime when I was pregnant with Milo.
Well, we totally understand, and we always try to accommodate you and the other chamber staff, when we could, to make sure that everything was just the way that you like it. So.
Oh, it always is. Can you give your locations one more time and how folks can get in touch with you? And I'll also include those links when I post the video.
Sure. Well, our Lowell location is located right now, presently at 124 Merrimack Street, hopefully soon 124 to 126 Merrimack Street. And then we also have locations in Somerville, Malden, and Chelsea, Massachusetts. And so our website is very simple, elpotromexicangrill.com, and you can find us on all of the fun social media, which I'm always seeming to be on, but it's professional, not, looking at my own Facebook all the time. So I enjoy engaging with our customers, seeing all the great pictures that people share and reading all of the great feedback that we get, from all of our customers, because it's really important to us to be able to make sure that we're always doing our best to improve upon the experience. And we have the best customers, we have the best, staff, and really trying to make our customers feel happy, and it's really rewarding for me to be the person on the front lines of all of that customer interaction and see the support, especially through the last, 4 or 5 months that, people shared with us. And, it's great.
Well, you do an awesome job. I love following you and interacting with you. Every time like you tweet something, I'm like, oh, I need to do more on Twitter. So
Yeah.
I am not worthy. You do a great job.
No worries at all. So,
Well, thank you so much. This was great seeing you. And rumor has it I'm going to be seeing a lot more of you on some of our Zooms. So that's great.
Yes, it's me misunderstanding some of the meetings, but now that I know, I miss you guys. I was like you said at the beginning, I feel like I was seeing you like 3 times a week initially, and then all of a sudden it kind of dropped off a little bit, but now I'll be back. So
awesome.
we can have some more conversation.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today. And thank you all for tuning in and learning more about El Potro, and go get takeout or sit outside, or now you can even eat in the restaurant. So things are going in the right direction.
Absolutely. All right.
Awesome.
Thank you,
Thanks
Danielle.
so much.
We really appreciate it.
Bye.